What's up, guys? JBase Phoenix here. We're back at it. I'm a little more rejuvenated than last time. I apologize that I was kind of out of it before or yesterday. I was also really hungry, like ridiculously hungry. But we're back at it like normal. Book plug, sended, Awakening paperback, $20. Kindle Unlimited, free 99 minus the 99, and Kindle Digital $10. If you give it a rating, um, if you give it a rating and review, then I shout you out like these peeps down here. Um, all right, and I also have a Patreon. If you guys want to read the first 5 chapters of Descended for free, you can go to Scribble Hub and find it there, or Wattpad. I'm I'm this close to deleting my Wattpad though, so I would just go to Scribble Hub. I also have a Patreon here where you can show more support if you don't want to do the whole Twitch subscription thing. You get little more, you get a little more power here, more things to do on Twitch. I don't have emotes yet, so there's not much incentive to subscribe just yet. Um, oh, I have channel points. Um, all right. I was about to sneeze. So before I just started this, I finally renamed Morphton. I like Resin as a better name, but Resin, the physical product, doesn't make much sense. I named him Neo after neoprene because that's like a fake rubber, synthetic rubber, and his power has to do with rubber. I like both names, but I feel like Neo. Whenever you think Neo, you just think either the video game, but most people think the Matrix. Um, what up, matey? 1009. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Okay. Um, so I think we're just gonna jump into planning chapter 3. Planning chapter 3 and writing chapter 2. Quick note: I started writing out the 10-page children's book version of Descended. I have the skeleton done, but this is gonna be like for kindergarten through fourth grade. I couldn't see many kids reading in fourth grade, but um, that's coming. That's coming very soon. It's not gonna take me long to do that because the story is already written. I'm just adapting it for kids and trying to simplify my wording, if you will. What am I writing with? I'm using Google Docs. If that's, I'm not sure if that was a correct question, but I usually use Google Docs and then copy it over to Word once I'm done. I like being able to access my stuff from anywhere, which is why I use Google Docs because I can, if I have an idea, I'll put it on my phone, but I have the Google Docs app, so I'll just find a proper document and throw it in there. Um, hmm. All right, let's find. That's the description. Revamp story. Oh, I reversed them. Whoops. Oh, what's this story about? Do you mean Descended or the free story, the one that the title's about? I mean, I can tell you both if you want, but they're two different. They're in the same universe, but they're two separate stories. Okay, let's plan chapter 3. Descended is the book I just plugged in the beginning. My published book. And the one we're writing on stream right now is gonna be free for everybody. Like I said, two separate stories. Okay, chapter 3, Zashi pushes Zero to finally take this virtue exam, virtue badge. Also know about his abilities more. They plan to go after. Then they plan to go after Gokaido. So this is the virtue exam chapter. So do we meet Zashi in the second one? I don't think her name is mentioned. Oh, that's at the obviously that's at the end of the chapter. Whoops. So we didn't. That was just supposed to be the final note. To be honest, no clue. It's my first time one of your streams. I just enjoy writing streams. Oh, okay, that's what's up. So Descended, to fill you in, Manny, is, well, I'll just read the description for you here. So on the heels of an alien invasion, the top scientific minds scramble for answers. They experiment with the serum that turns ordinary people into supers, opening the door to an unknown world filled with aliens, angels, demons, gods, and monsters. Jay Jones, a recent high school graduate, uncovers the harsh truths of life. That's Jay Jones there. Desperate to cover his mother's unexpected medical bills and make something of himself, he takes a chance and volunteers for an experimental serum that gives him superpowers. He uses his newfound abilities to navigate this dangerous world. Determined to defeat evil, Jay struggles to find his place in a newly risen superpowered society where not everyone uses their powers for good. It's a life or death battle to get by, and Jay soon realizes he's not just fighting to make a difference, he's fighting for his life. So this is my very first book. This is like my biggest series. I'm currently planning the 8th book in the series right now, but I've just released the first book about a little over a month ago. So this is one of my series. I have 13 series I'm currently developing, so it's a lot. But this other series that we're writing on stream, I have a description of it somewhere, like a synopsis. Though I changed that. Oh, damn. Wait, let me find the... It's in the world building? No. It's in the power system one. Alright. So, there's this council of beings called the Cosmic Council. A council of 9 distinct beings in the virtuous universe were created on a planet that would be later named Disturbed. When they left to do their jobs to give balance to the universe, they each left behind essence undisturbed. This essence, called virtue, was instilled into the beings that evolved as life on the planet. Virtue has a limit to how much can be used at a time before collapsing, fainting, or possibly dying, but can recharge given enough time. Stellars with less capacity take less time to charge, but cannot use... Well, this is not really a synopsis. I'm just explaining the powers, but... the beings, the Stellars, are almost identical to humans, and each fall under a different class that their virtue grants them. So this series follows a strict power system. It also does not take place on Earth. And there's advantages and disadvantages to being in a certain power system. Everybody has one unique power on the planet. For example, a pyrokinetic would fall under the kinetic class, obviously, but there's only one pyrokinetic at a time. There's different versions of a pyrokinetic, like a nuclear pyrokinetic, but this it's just to give some uniqueness to everybody's abilities. It's kind of like Virtue in this story is kind of like Chakra from Naruto, or Ki from Dragon Ball Z, or Aura from Hunter x Hunter. I'm pretty deep into the series then. That's that you're streaming your writing process. Yeah, I appreciate that. For sure, streaming my writing keeps me writing, if that makes sense. I feel like if I don't stream on a day that I'm promised, which is every day except Friday for an hour, I feel like I'm failing somebody that would normally be looking forward to watching the stream, So yeah, I'm definitely streaming the writing process. I'm considering doing the 8th book of Descended on stream, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of spoilers there as to who's not there, and I mean, it takes place in space when the first 7 books take place on Earth. It's like a space epic, but it connects to the stories that's happening on Earth. It's a lot, and I'm not sure everybody on stream will be able to follow something like that. Um, but yeah. So I'm writing that story. I'm editing the second book currently. So that's 2 things, and then I'm also writing this story. What did I know? I didn't hear the. My volume's up, bro. I appreciate the follow, Manny. Appreciate the follow. Shouts out to Manny1009 for the follow. We're gonna up the thing. I didn't see your. I saw the notification, though I didn't hear anything, and I just saw, like, I didn't see your actual name show up in the notification. It's weird. This thing be acting up. Hearing people write on stream keeps me writing. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, that's kind of why I do it too, to help other people get inspiration and ideas and all of that. We all get inspiration from somewhere. So I'm currently writing the 8th book in the series. I'm kind of stuck there because there's supposed to be like this escape thing, a person that's escaping a prison planet that was just made for them. I'm editing the 2nd book in the Descended series so I can get the 2nd book of this to come out soon. Gonna need money for that. I also have I'm also writing this free story. That's 3 things I'm writing simultaneously. I'm also trying to write Dark Before Dawn, which is another one of the series. I'm only like 3 chapters in. And then and then I'm writing a children's version of Descended. It's it's like kindergarten to like 4th grade, maximum 4th grade. A version of this book. It'll be broken down obviously because they're only 10 pages each, but it's like an abridged version, but also for kids for this book. So that way, kids that grow up on the children's versions of these books will be inclined to also read the adult version of the books when they're older. And also, if their parents are interested in the story, like, this seems interesting. This is the actual version of the book. Not the actual version, but like I said, the adult version. So it's not taking me very long. I already finished planning out the first page. I just gotta learn. I might have to hire somebody to format it because I'm not sure how to format a children's book. I don't know if it needs to be a certain length. I don't know if it needs to be as small as this. I feel like if it was a 10-page version of this, it's like, eh. But if it were like the bigger versions you're used to seeing of children's books, I could see that a little better. But yeah, I got like 5-6 things I'm working on simultaneously. Quality dedication there, pal. Appreciate it. How old are you, by the way? I am only 22. I just graduated college last year. Screenwriting major from Drexel University. Okay, we need to plan out. Okay, so this was supposed to happen at the end. So Cyril is supposed to meet Zashi in this chapter. Yeah. Okay. And then the exam happens in this one. Virtue exam. Oh gosh, I always mess up spelling virtue. Virtue exam in this one. So at the end of chapter 2, Omnispect well, you guys can't see this. I'm gonna scroll up on here so you can see past my face when I'm reading here. Omnispect intimidates the guards when he's trying to leave. Then he gets mend and morphed in. Oh, I gotta change his name. I changed his name to Neo. Morphin. Here we go. I need to change his name in all the documents, but we're not gonna worry about that. When we come across it, we'll change his name. Stop them from leaving. They are forced to watch as Omnispec burns a second strike into the back of Collider's neck. Spec explains the strikes stand for every time someone working under him has made a mistake. 3 times, 3 strikes means they have been marked for death. Okay. 22 is a great age to be doing so much good work. I appreciate it. I'm told that. Well, the stream's still. I'm gonna listen whilst I write. That's what's up. That's what the stream is for. That's what the stream is for. You get it. You get it, maney. You get it. I normally have music playing, but for some reason, I've been getting muted audio for supposedly copyright-free songs. So I kind of just stopped that for now. But also, the music was kind of making the stream lag. So, sucks. But I mean, no, I was gonna say I could play it on my phone, but that's pretty much the same thing. No. All right, so we're gonna move this over here. Put this here. Chapter 3. Okay. I think I'm gonna have a similar interaction to when we had it before. This is the old. No, it's the old thing. Where's the old notes? Did I close it? The old chapter beats. I might have closed it. Darn. Alright. Let's go to, what am I looking for? Novels. Stupid. Oh, I have to rename this folder. Whoops. Rename it from here. Yeah. What are you writing, by the way, Manny, if you don't mind me asking? I'm always curious to see what other people are writing while watching me. What's up, dealer? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Come on in and sit back, kick back, and relax. Okay. What the hell am I looking for? The old beat thing. Where is that? Here. I want to see how Siranzashi met some things. So in case you guys are lost, I had an older version of this story, which is why the title of this is old. And then the revamped version, like, okay, so I implemented this power system for this story because, sorry, I just blanked out there. I've implemented the power system in the story because I feel like it was getting too similar to the other series, Descended. Because in Descended, it's much more like everybody uses their powers to the best of their abilities, but there's no like rules as to who whomst can beat whomst. It's much more like a Marvel or DC version of, hey, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you now, and I have willpower and all that type of stuff. But with this power system, there's much more balance to it, so that's why I kind of restarted the story, and I'm glad I was only 4 chapters in, because if I was much further in, that would have been much more troubling. And I changed around some origins. I got rid of one of the main cast members. I had 6, and that was too close to the 7 that are in. That's part of a main superhero team in the Descended series. So I'm trying to like separate them. Plus, there's a lot more sci-fi elements to this story because it's on another planet. It's like cyberpunk, sci-fi type thing with a bit of magic in there because of the whole life essence thing. Yeah. I'm learning screenwriting. I'm in college in the UK. I get a lot of UK viewers. It's because I stream late. Maybe. I don't know. So I've got to make a short film next year. I'm planning it as a body slash psychological horror short film. Sounds awesome. It sounds awesome. Props to you for writing horror. I think I've tried writing horror, and because I'm the one writing the horror, I never get scared at my own write. Is that something normal? Like, does your own writing, if you're writing horror, are you scared by writing horror? That's the same question I have for somebody making a horror movie. Like, are you scared at any point during making a horror movie? I mean, you're seeing it be made. Like, if you're a director, like, you're seeing what's going on around you. Like, you're not scared at any point, right? Like, I wonder if they look at the final cuts of their things and they're like, oh boy, that was spooky. By the end of it, like, I guess they did their job right. Right. I can't scare myself with my writing, but I've given myself nightmares with it. Well, you've done something. That's damn. I've had dreams about characters from my writing. I get that. Um, Props to you for writing horror. I've tried it. I might try it in the future again at some point, but man, oh man, is it difficult to do that. I don't think I don't know how good I am at writing horror because I don't think I've ever written it and shared it with anybody that was spooked out by it. Like, I can do graphic body stuff all day, and there's some of it in the Descended series, which is why I'm making a kids version. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure how good I am at writing that. I'm not a dark or antsy person, but I always have dark undertones in my writing. Yeah, same actually. Same. Um, okay, this was an introduction to Zashi. Used to work for OmniSpec. Marked 3 times. I was fine with her introduction. I kind of just wanted to change Ciro's introduction around a little bit. So we're just going to copy some of these beats over from the old one. Watches from a rooftop. That's not in the clouds. Zashi gets attacked. Fends off goons. They fight the goons off. Strikes. Shows the strikes. Yeah. Already explained to the reader. What do we cut to here with OmniSpec? Oh, Vermilion. Right. Okay. Fine with this. Ciro, what his goals are. Copy that. If we add anything, it might just be a rehash of chapter 3. If we add anything, I'll mark it in the beats. Oh crap, undo. I'll mark it in the beats, but I feel like chapter 3 is going to be pretty similar, just with a bit of a different ending because she's pushing him to go to the exam next instead of. So that's what I kind of like. We're spending a chapter alone with Ciro at first. Then we get introduced to. No, we don't. That's in chapter 3. Well, we're spending 2 chapters alone with Ciro first, so you get to know who he is a little bit. Then chapter 3, we're introduced to Zashi, and then it's not like chapter by chapter you're getting introduced to every new a new member of the main 5. It's like introduce a character, you spend a chapter with them, and then introduce another character, and then you spend a chapter with those 2 alone. So the virtue exam will just be Ciro and Zashi, and then in chapter 5 we're going to introduce Clad. So then chapter 6 will be about Clad, Ciro, and Zashi, and then chapter 7 will be Grace, and then keep along with that. Chapter 9 should be the final member, Solace. It will take 9 but I plan on it's going to be like kind of like a web serial type of thing. So it doesn't matter how long it takes to be introduced to the characters. I don't plan on selling this at any point. So I don't have to go the traditional route of, oh, by chapter 3 you should have all of your main characters introduced. Like, no, shut up. It's not that. I've also found sci-fi universes will always have aspects of cosmic horror in it, like space monsters that hunt humans or amalgamations. It's interesting. Amalgamation, like kind of like The Thing, right? That movie effed me up, bro. The Thing, mm-mm, mm-mm. It was only the 1980 something version that I saw, and man, those practical effects. I saw that sophomore year of college, and I'm still effed up by it. Like, it's not like I saw it when I was like 10, and I'm like, oh god, I can't. With The Thing, no, no. I always did not want to see that movie because of how realistic the practical effects looked. It was just gross too. Like, and I'm normally good with that type of stuff. Kind of. Okay, so I like Mortal Kombat. Like, that's one of my favorite franchises ever. And the fatalities and stuff in that don't bother me. First of all, it's very over the top and kind of comedic. Um, but The Thing, bro, I don't know what it is. It's just gross. It's gross. Yeah, The Thing is legendary. Cosmic horror is interesting because it's probably the least produced film genre by big studios. Very true. It's also influential. Would Alien count as cosmic horror? Like that whole. I never know what that is. That noise. Like the whole cosmic, the Alien stuff. That whole Alien franchise. Maybe Predator too. I'm guessing it. I'm guessing they would fall under that. Alien Thing, Predator, off the top of my. Okay, good. All right, so I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Um. Yeah. I. All right. I got. I'm excited. Why I'm excited? Because I'm probably gonna start continuing. Well, continue. The eighth book after this stream actually, because I really don't want to spoil anything for anybody that wants to follow the Descended series. But I'm excited to test out fear, using fear as an element. So it's not much of a spoiler because it's just going to be another. It's going to be another villain arc. But I introduced a character in the Descended series, um, that I created to not be defeated. His name is Malos, right? And he's another. I have a few Superman homage characters, a good amount, because he's one of my um, favorite fictional characters in general. But I introduced this guy in the 10th book in the series. And where is he? And I want to experiment with what the story of Descended will look like. You have all of these powerful characters. You got the main character who's very overpowered. I'm not going to explain how. You got all of these superpowered beings that can be compared to gods, right? But then you introduce, oh come on, load. Then you introduce this Superman homage character who is, unfortunately for them, not on the traditional side of good. His goals are to make every race the best they can be. So it's I'm not going to explain everything about his goals and all of that, but he essentially wants every race to be able to fend for itself and fight on its own. And he starts with Earth because that's where he wakes up. He was not born on Earth, but he is a force. He is my either second or third most powerful character out of 300 right now, across all of my series. And I say second or third because I'm not sure if I want him to be more powerful than Decimus, who is my version of the devil. But he's introduced in the 10th book in the series, and I want to see what happens when I introduce a character like this that was created to not be defeated by anything. I gave him an artificial weakness, like he's weak to a certain metal, but he has super regeneration, so he can just be cut and he looks down, guts are spilling out, and they just pop back in. He's like, okay, cool. Um, so I want to see what happens when I introduce a looming, overwhelmingly evil force into this series that the heroes can actually do uh, jack about. Like they can't do anything about it. Um, and he also like commands a team of superpowered villains like him that are definitely not as strong as him, but are up there as far as strength goes. Um, and I'm mixing a few like franchises slash fandoms here as far as what everything he does. His whole thing about being a threatening force, like if you have like I'm imagining few scenes where the heroes are gathered and they're just like, okay, we got to do something about this whole war thing and all of this, and then you just see dude fly into the scene. And my series, I didn't make this clear earlier. My series is something where where the main characters are not safe. Like maybe the only character that has any sort of plot armor is Lux, the main character, but a lot of the main characters die, especially when we get to the third book in the series. And it's to show that these characters aren't that safe. They're I haven't had the time and everything put behind a character like Superman or Batman, so I can afford to kill these main characters and villains and everybody off if I want to. So when this guy comes onto a scene and there's nothing but heroes there, and he's just like, "Yo, what you guys doing?" And they're reacting like, "Yo, oh, we can't do anything to this guy. We just gotta hope he doesn't kill us because, he's that strong of a force that when you're in the presence of him, you have to like, it's unnerving. Like he can kill you in the blink of an eye because he's just that strong, obviously. But I can't wait till. That's why I'm excited to get back to book 8. I took a long hiatus on it, but I want to introduce him in the series. But to have a character like that, I'm looking forward to having, introducing that in the series. That's what, like that overwhelming sense of weakness, I guess. There's another word for it I'm not thinking of. But that's what I kind of want to play with when I introduce him in this series. Like, you have all of these superheroes. They're running the world, essentially. They're like, yo, nothing can stop us. We've beaten all these wars. We've stopped all these villains. And then dude comes on. He's like, oh, word? Y'all stopped all those villains, huh? Can you stop me? And they're just like, you got that, bro. Okay, let me catch up. Hang on. It is difficult to say what is what because so many other films use aspects of cosmic horror, like it. True, making the origin of Pennywise a meteor, does that make it cosmic horror? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. A character which has a goal but no morals can be made terrifying in any genre. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I want to play with here. Like Thanos in Infinity War, fear is such a useful tool when done well, especially in a non-horror genre, non-horror story. So sort of be like, heroes are limiting the human race as a whole. No. Oddly enough, he's trying to create more heroes. Because when he was a child, he had this father figure. He didn't know who his actual father was. He does now. But there was this father figure that was torturing one of his own people. They were born on, like, just imagine them as Kryptonians. They were born on this planet, and one of his pseudo-father was torturing another one of they're called semigonics. One of these semigonics. And he's looking at his father like, I looked up to you my whole life, and you're in there. You have a room where you're torturing somebody who might not even deserve that. So he sets that person free, and that person, there was a prophecy about that person that if that person were to ever be let loose, He would kill everyone. He would kill every last one of their people, and oddly enough, that's exactly what he does. But that's because he was being tortured his whole life. Um, so Malos is the one that set that evil free on his planet and essentially got his whole race killed, besides him and a few others. Um, but he still believes in freedom. So it's not like he's forcing anybody to do anything. He's just there to. It's like he's pushing. You remember how I mentioned the serum that's giving everybody superpowers? The aliens came in and they're like alien space cops. They came in and they're like, "Yo, you got to shut this down. This serum is causing way too many problems for your people. So we're coming in. We're like, knock it off. You got to shut down this whole government branch that invented this serum and everything." He comes back. He wakes up because he was crash landed on Earth like another certain character, in a chamber, and he's out and about, and he's like, why would you guys stop this because some aliens told you not to do that? And then he kind of revamps that whole serum thing, but there are people that want to stop him because of how he's going about doing everything, and it gets complicated. I'd rather just it gets stupidly complicated, but I kind of like that about the story when we get that far. But he's not a good guy. He's about he's not about control and all that. He's about freedom, and he's like, you're free to attack me, but I wouldn't recommend it. And it's fun. I'm still trying to figure out exactly. I think I've written it down a bunch of times. All of my notes all over the place. I'm trying to figure out exactly what his goals are. I might have written it down. Okay, so I wrote down in one of my notes Malos's goal. He rebuilds Haven City's underground without altering these other beings, learning about human interaction and honor and such. This makes him an interesting character, a crime lord Superman, if you will, while still being villainous like Homelander and the kid from Brightburn. While taking over the underground, he rids the city of all drugs and guns, and instead ships the serum product. He brings the serum back, essentially, and is trying to better the human race and allow themselves to be free, because that's kind of like my author's take on it. Humans are weak AF. Like, sure, we're intelligent and all of that, but like, if we were to ever have to square up with a tiger, we'd lose. Physically, we're not that great. So he's trying to better the human race by giving them the option and ability to have superpowers and all this. And this attracts the attention of some other people. We'll get into that. We write the story. But that's essentially his goal, and he's going to be doing this on other planets and all of that stuff. But he starts with Earth. And I'm not sure if he's going to succeed or not. I'm pretty sure he is, because when he's introduced in this series, the tone of the series changes a few times. And I think when I introduce him in this series, it's pretty much going to be permanently changed, because he's never going to be able to be defeated. Think of him like, if you're familiar with One Punch Man, think of him like that, but not a parody character and evil. And very strong goals. Fear of insignificance. That too, it plays on that, because, no matter how powerful the heroes are, they can't beat them. Like the mental grasp you have on your story. I like the mental grasp you have on your stories. I think that's something not enough storytellers do. I think I need to do this with my stories too. Thank you, I appreciate that. That's cool. Yo, what up, C4? Hello, what? Tiger Wrestling? Yeah, I was talking about how one of the villains, one of my favorite, like top 2 favorite characters in the series, in the Descended series, it is introduced, and talking about how weak humans are. Like, that's my perspective. Humans are pretty physically weak. Like, yeah, you can build yourself up and have all these muscles and everything and get these gains, and you just like yo, bro, do you even lift and all that other stuff. But even if that guy has to square up against the tiger, the tiger could just rip his throat out and it's over for your boy. Like, but that's kind of where I'm coming from with that whole humans need to be free and I'm trying to better them type of thing. But the way he goes about it is not the greatest. And there's gonna be a point, and I'm kind of excited, if even though it's kind of effed up. There's gonna be a point where there's like a UN meeting or something. I don't think I'm gonna call it the UN for many reasons. But there's gonna be like a government meeting, and all the government officials are like, we gotta stop these aliens coming in, and this is America and this is Earth and we're all humans and rah. And then Mallows comes in and he's like, oh, word. And then he essentially just kills all the government officials in that room, setting humans free, so to speak. And then there's going to be so many more. Oh, I'm excited. There's going to be so many more plot points past that and consequences because of that. There's going to be. The whole world is going to be in disarray. And like I said, I think it's going to be a permanent change because I don't think it's going to go back to however it was past Malos's introduction. There are like, I want to say 2 wars before this book on Earth. And after those wars, yeah, a few people die, but things kind of go back to normal a little bit. People are upset because, maybe their friends died. That might or may not be a main character. Oh man, my friend died, but, everything about the world in Haven City is still okay. But when this man's get introduced, it never goes back to that. That's what I'm excited to get to. I want the story to develop and change as I continue to write it. I'm going to make this a continuous series and write it as pretty much as long as I continue to write. But like I said, I'm really excited. I'm only on the 8th book. Malos is introduced in the 10th. No. Wait. I need to rename these last two, the 9th and 10th book. United. Okay, Trinity, yeah. Trinity is book 10. I always think Trinity is book 9. It's not. United is when Prince Detrius, another alien, comes down and he's like, alright, stop that, humans. Knock it off. Y'all are done with war. He's a god of war. He's an alien dragon god. He's the dragon of war from his alien dragon race. But oddly enough, he's not for war. His methods about stopping war are very warlike, ironically, but he's he's trying to stop wars across the entire universe, and he actually succeeds. That's something that most villains cannot say they've done. He succeeds in stopping war across the universe. But that's book 9, and then book 10. Book 8 is a space epic right now. It's the one I'm currently writing, Beyond. It has a few of the main characters that are introduced across these books as part of like a space brigade, and they're going and doing these adventures and stuff. But it also follows the Prince Detrius, the guy I just mentioned, and his story with his family, because that gets effed up, and like a group of space marines as well. So then he comes to Earth in book 9. It's United. That's United. All of these heroes coming together across all of my series, from Specialist, Dark Before Dawn, the other series I'm currently developing. They come in and they're like, "Yo, what's this?" They try to stop him. And then book 10, like I said, Trinity. That's when the Trinity of, I call them hero killers. I gotta give them a different name. I don't have a better name right now. But that's the group Malos is a part of. When they're introduced, you think the leader, Severa, is the one that's going to be the biggest issue. But Malos, kind of like the third member of the group, kind of just stays back and quiet. and watches Severa and Riftblade do all their work, killing off heroes and all this stuff, because heroes bad and all that. But then, he obviously will come to the forefront at some point. He's like, all right, that's enough. I'm done watching you guys, and it's time to put this plan into action. Y'all messing around, like y'all taking up my precious time, even though he's immortal. So yeah, long story short, too late. I'm excited to get to that the next books. Like I said, I took a hiatus with book 8 because I gotta have this complicated prison planet escape thing with this character escaping a planet that was built just for her, and it's gonna be like a labyrinth and all this other stuff. But I'm probably gonna get back to that after I stream to avoid spoilers for you guys. Makes sense. Paper skin and glass bones in it. Yep, all humans born with that. All humans. Even like giraffes could kill us, bro. You ever think about that? Like, if we tried to square with a giraffe would wash us. Like, we don't have a chance against a giraffe, man. Like, just him headbutting one of us, like, we're finished. We're finished. But I guess that's why we have weapons as well, But I'm saying, if we didn't have weapons, because not everybody has an effing weapon on them, all the time anyway. Like, if we had to just, say you had a plane crash and in the desert, and you gotta survive, and you don't have any sort of anything with you, any sort of weapons, combat knives, survival knives, whatever, nothing. You're kind of just you, and you gotta. How you gonna hunt with nothing? You gonna punch a zebra or something? Like, bro, you ain't punching no zebra. A zebra will wash you too. All a zebra has to do is kick with his hoof, and in your neck broken, you're finished. That's kind of my point with Malice being introduced. He's like, humans are weak. You're all weak. Everybody below me is essentially weak. So I'm going to try to help them. I'm going to bring them up. I'm not going to go about it the right way, but I'm going to bring them up. And oh man, I also forgot, his personality is going to be effing hilarious, because he's not going to be like your stereotypical, even though his picture looks like, I'm evil. Like that, like, even though it looks like that whole thing, he's very much not that. His partner in crime, the guy I mentioned that's going to be like the main antagonist of book 9, Detrius, he's more like that. He's more brooding, grim, and all that type of thing. But Malos, he has fun with what he's doing. Because imagine being able to essentially do anything and not be able to be killed. Like, he knows he cannot be killed. And that hubris is never going to come back to bite him in the butt, because of how strong, like, you guys don't get how strong this man is. I don't think you understand. Like, imagine you're essentially a god. Well, he's half god. You're a god, and you can't be stopped. Like, you have all these superpowers at your disposal. You can do literally anything you effing want. That's what, like, he's having fun with it. That's what his personality is going to be. He's never going to feel bad for killing anybody. He's kind of just smiling and laughing the whole way in a effed up sadistic way, but he's enjoying what he's doing. He's not a chaotic evil. He's more, I would say he's a neutral evil. He's not a Joker. He's not just killing just to kill. Most of the time. But that's where his personality comes from. Essentially, first I changed his personality in his origin, but at first he was that brooding, like, oh man, I'm this super strong half god dude, and now I gotta be evil because I killed my own race. He's like, no, bro, what? Excuse me. If my race couldn't take care of themselves, then they didn't really deserve to live, did they? But they also didn't have me to provide them the opportunity with making them opening their eyes. Um, so yeah, and Strive, his childhood friend. Well, they only know each other for a little amount of time, but um, these are some of the other Semigonics: Omniarch and Omnicide. Strive, this boy here, he's kind of a woke, one of the woke Semigonics. He's like, because their people, their abilities kind of died off because they weren't using them. They were trying so hard to keep up technologically and intelligently with their creator's planet. So essentially, the alien dragon god known as Arrow, who is Detrius's father, created this race, and the race was deemed too oh god, what is it? Too violent, too like Neanderthal ish. And he sent them off to the moon of Nebulon to do their own thing, and um, you know, through them trying to learn their lesson and all that, they kind of like lost track of their innate abilities, and Strive here, one of the woke ones. Well, he's obviously not a child here, but one of the woke ones. He's like, yo, we could have stayed on track with our abilities, but while developing all this technology and stuff, but like we didn't have to lose sight of who we were. And Malos meeting him, kind of realizes that, and that's where Malos gets his whole thing of making beings better than they already are. So yeah, that was, oh my god, I've been talking about that for like a half hour. I feel like I've been doing that for a while. We were supposed to be playing we're playing chapter 3. Because chapter 3 is more or less the same as the other chapter, the old chapter. We did some work, guys. We did it. I gotta plan out the virtue exam. I believe I said the virtue exam it can be 4 different things. Yeah, up here. It could be a written test. I'm gonna just copy this. Do you ever write plot points just to mess with the readers? Oh, I've actually never considered that. Plot points for like the beats. I've never considered that. Interesting. I might from now on because of you, maybe. Who are your author inspirations? I'd say my biggest is Tom Taylor. One of my favorite authors in general. He wrote the Injustice series. Injustice, like the comic book series, but one of my favorite comic book series ever. Essentially, it was like Superman became evil, an evil tyrant, and it was in an alternate universe, so they could afford to kill off characters, and he pulled no punches whatsoever as far as killing fan favorites and all of this stuff. The Teen Titans died in the nuclear explosion that killed, that once Superman accidentally killed Lois, it set off a bomb that killed Metropolis. The Teen Titans died in that nuclear explosion, and then they were sent to the Phantom Zone. Shazam, well, in the game, Shazam was freaking laser beamed in the eyes by Superman. Like, I pulled inspiration from that because I love this series so much because of the stakes. Like, you did not know, every time I turned a page, I did not know who would be making it out of the next scene, of that scene into the next scene. And that idea of stakes and fear as to what would happen to your favorite characters is what I want to play on, well, mainly in the Descendants series, but yeah, the Descendants series. what I want to play on in the Descended series, which is why I introduced somebody that can do anything like that. Um, Malos and Detrius, who are, well, Detrius is just pretty impossible to beat as well, but Malos actually being impossible to beat. Um, Playing with people's fear and, I like evoking some sort of emotion out of the reader, and there are going to be a few upset deaths in this series. There are going to be a few main characters that die off screen, so to speak, and it's not going to be pretty for everybody. But because, like I said, this isn't Spider-Man and Batman and all that. Like, it's not like they're not going to come back. Like, death in my series is also permanent. Those are two of the main things with my series, the Descended series. Death is permanent, and your favorite character might not make it out alive of anything. Their death could be random. Like, they could get ganged up on somebody, and they might not be strong enough to fight them off. But yeah, let's say Tom Taylor. Children's book authors, Lemony Snicket. Real guy's name is Daniel Handler. Wrote the series of unfortunate events. Favorite book series growing up. I also like Jeff Johns has some good stuff. I love Forever Evil. What else do I have up there? Shoot. Who wrote Hush? I liked Batman Hush. That's one of my other favorites. It's right there. I can't see who's. I forget. Injustice Effect. Oh, so you know it. Yeah, great. The only comic book series I've ever followed and waited for. Exactly, dude. I was not. I went on a hiatus from comic books for a little while because, not that I didn't have the money to buy anything like that. But in college, like, I didn't even have that much. I wasn't even working in college, and I had like a monthly allowance, really. But college, I started buying. I have I think from the first Injustice, I'm missing year 5 volume 2 and year 5 volume 3, but I have the rest on paperback, like straight up. That's my biggest series I have up there. I have a few Suicide Squad books. I have, like I said, Batman Hush. I have Joker Endgame, and the only Marvel one I have is Civil War because, like I said, I really enjoy stakes and the fear of not knowing who's gonna make it out. Civil War didn't really do that, but that was the closest thing I could find to it. Oh, I liked Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, probably my favorite Marvel series, or favorite Marvel run of a comic book. Cause that was effing crazy. But yeah, Injustice I followed hard, dude. And shoot, I don't know if I finished the Injustice 2 comic books. I was reading those online. And I was reading those weekly. Like, that's how into this series I am. Can't wait for Injustice 3. Well, I can, because they're still dealing with Mortal Kombat right now, and I'm waiting for the DLC to drop in a few days. Is it a week? It'll be a week. May 26th? A little over a week. Next Tuesday. DLC drops for MK11. I already bought it. I bought it like maybe the second day I heard about it. Can't wait. And I've also been replaying not the Injustice story, but just the Injustice 2 game. I loved Injustice 1 too. Bro. I was so young when I started. I've been writing my stories for a bit. They're all in the same universe. I do that too because it's kind of just easier that way. Plus, it'd be cool to have, team ups down the line at some point, which is what the book 9 is, the United one, like I said. But I've never crossed any of the villains over because I don't want to compare their abilities or survivability, or even know how to. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I see your point. I would definitely never do, well, I'm not going to rule out never, but that's something might have a struggle with, like, if any of the characters from the Descended series came over to this Disturbed Delinquents series, most likely than not, the Descended character would win, because Disturbed Delinquents is meant to be more, like I said, balanced, and they have a limit to how much they can use and all of that. And then, like I said, I have a whole power system for them, so yeah, it would be difficult to. It would be interesting to see what would happen, but it might be difficult. Also, I'm gonna probably wrap up with this. Let me read this. Which is why Injustice is mad, because that crosses over literally 100 characters. Yep. Yep. Yup. You said it. You get it. Malos also, and I'm gonna. Where's the superpower? Oh, I closed it. Let me open the superpower document. Malos creates this group, this super group of villains, and I'm going to say where I got the inspiration from because I love the idea of it so much. The Akatsuki from Naruto, the dudes with the black cloaks and the clouds on their thing. There are so many people that might not even know what Naruto is, but knows what the cloud represents. There are plenty of people that dress up as the Akatsuki. They're such a dope thing. Like, I never thought villains wearing essentially the same thing, with different distinct looks, could work, and it does. It just does with them. So I love the idea of that, and I'm doing something similar with Malos's group, because Malos, of course, is going to have a group. I think I said 12 people at a time as part of this thing. If you don't want spoilers, I recommend looking away. I'll just tell you who's here. Not the spoiler characters, but I mean, I'm kind of just messing with the idea of who's going to be on the team. So, this is the new era, the rebirth, the evolution. Malos's army believes in freedom, crafted as a collection of the universe's biggest bads. All have matching black cloaks and black sclera. So they're all going to have the same black sclera that all of the Semigonics have. And they're all going to have, I'm going to have to mess around with the design. They're all going to have black cloaks with some sort of accent color or colors on it. But Malos, of course, I'd say Malos and Detrius are like co-leaders, because they're fighting at first. When Malos is introduced in book 10, they're like squaring off, and then while they're talking while they're fighting, because sometimes that does happen, while they're talking while they're fighting, they're like, oh wait, we want the same thing. And then I want somebody to do fan art of this, because I can see it as a wallpaper, or in the animated series. They both stop fighting and then turn to the heroes who are looking on, and both of their eyes are red and glowing. Oh, bro. Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to describe it either. So they're like co-leaders of this organization that I haven't given a name to. Strive is going to be a part of it. Sadly enough, he's the childhood friend. Strive is supposed to be hero, and Strive is not really spoilers, but he's part of the Beyond Brigade, the 8th book I'm currently writing. He's part of that, the main cast of people that are in space. Mara and Archaeos, they are the younger siblings of Detrius. And then I'm not gonna, if you're looking away to avoid spoilers, I'm not gonna say who else is there. There's gonna be somebody who has blood manipulation, because I just realized I didn't have anybody who did that. I have water manipulation people, but this is not Avatar: The Last Airbender, so they can't bloodbend. So somebody who does this. Oh, message live. And there's gonna be, I have some other possible prospects. I can see a character named Ruse. She might be a part of it. Luminos, he's also, they're kind of together. They haven't labeled it or nothing. but they might be a part of it. But like I said, I like the idea of my universe's all of my universe's biggest bads being a part of it, and I want Malos to say like his thing represents like really like I said evolution, but like I want all biggest bads across all sorts of franchises and everything to be able to have something like this to it oddly enough be canon for all other franchises like yo you guys heard of this Malos guy, he gave me a cloak and we're a part of his thing now, but they kind of can do their own thing like he's not anybody can wear the cloak and be a part of his army if they want to like, but he has like I said he has a main cast of his main peeps here, and but there are others across the universe that are also a part of it. Not necessarily working under him, especially not directly, but like they all like what he represents. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to say. Like all of these villains across my universe like what he represents. So I'm considering having Omnispect also rock the cloak at some point. It's possible. Omnispect is the main villain of the series I'm supposed to have been writing this entire time, but I've just been talking. I'm considering doing that. Maybe all of my villains across all of them, all of my series could. I don't know. I like the idea of it being widespread. Like I said, I'd have to come up with a really cool cloak design, but yeah, I'm excited. I think, like I said, I think I'm gonna get back into continuing the story, even though the second book isn't even out. I need the first book to do crazy well in order for me to pay for the second book. But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, the children's book does well too, because that could also help me with the second book, at least the second book. But yeah, and that's also why I have these two series going. Well, it's gonna be 13 series, but in case you cannot pay for the Descendant book, I have the Disturbed Delinquents book for everybody to read. Plus, it's YA centric, like it's for it's targeted towards like not a young audience, but like maybe middle to high school grade. Like it can be for them essentially. Like there's not gonna be much swearing. There's not gonna be nowhere near the graphic violence that's in the Descended series. Descended is essentially for adults. Think of it like that, because there's a lot of there's swearing and there's a lot of graphically described violence. I really kind of just stay away from the whole sex thing. I think I just find that weird to write out. Like if you do, more power to you, but like that's not something I do. Naruto is also one of the only anime I've ever watched. Straight up. That's what's up. Naruto has some of the best villains too. Kind of think your modern superhero film. Oh, kind of think our modern superhero films take heavy inspiration from things like that. Yep. That's one of the best feelings. I can't wait to describe it either when you know you hit a gem of a scene. Yeah. You get it. You get it, man. You get it. You I said that a lot throughout this whole stream, but your boy gets it, yo. But we're gonna end the stream for today. I will be back here tomorrow from 8 to 9 p.m. I might be on early in the a.m. I did that this morning. I was up at like 5 or 6. And I streamed for like a half hour because I couldn't sleep. But I was just playing NBA 2K. I gotta start the Arkham series soon. I might do that late at night at some point. But I'm gonna be streaming the I've never played and I've never really seen much of any of those. I'm gonna be playing all of them except the Arkham Origins because it's the only one I didn't buy from the PlayStation sale. But look forward to that coming, y'all. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when that's live. But yeah, we will continue this some more tomorrow. I'm gonna see how much I gotta. After taking a hiatus from any point in a book, like if I just finished a book, it's fine. But if I'm in the middle of a book and I take a long hiatus, I gotta like essentially just reread what I was doing and what my plan was. I remembered where I stopped in the Descended series. But yeah, look forward to the more gaming content coming soon, and stream every day, except Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. That's the writing though. I might need to get a schedule with gaming too. Descended Awakening book plug paperback, only $20. Most paperbacks run you up $25, $30. $20 you good. I've been noticing, I have reports here. A lot of people have been buying the paperback over the Kindle. Like, most of it is paperback. I guess people prefer paperback. I get the same amount of royalties essentially either way, but most people enjoy holding something this thick in their hands. But if you do want the digital version, I ain't gonna hold you. Kindle Unlimited, if you have that, it's free 99 minus 99 cent. And Kindle Digital normally is just $10, half of what the paperback is. But the paperback, like I said, paperback thick. So yeah, I've been hearing. My friend told me yesterday he got to chapter 4, I believe, and he's really enjoying it right now. Yeah, he hasn't told me anything bad about it. So he knows something's about to kick off as far as chapter 4 goes, and he asked me if the main character is based off of me. Yes, he is. Make sure you give it a rating if you have bought it already. If you haven't, or if it's on the way and you've bought it, give it a rating anyway. Ratings do help the book out a lot because they boost the rankings as far as where in the Amazon store my book is. Ratings are just star ratings. If you rate and review, then your boy shouts you out like these lovely peoples down here. If you don't want to subscribe on Twitch, I completely understand. Consider it, but if you don't, fine. I'm trying to work. I gotta find out how to get emotes. I gotta find an emote artist of some sort. Because that's mainly why people subscribe, I think. For that and sub-only chat. But I don't think I'm at the point. I don't want the sub-only chat just yet. But if you want another way to support your boy, we got it. We got a Patreon now. That's up. Different tiers. I'm not gonna read them every time, but different tiers here. And each level is like a level of where these superpower beings are descended. But yeah. First patron gets a shout out at the end of every one of my I think, what did I say, streams, or every one of the something. I don't remember. Every one of something. Until they, of course, stop the support. But, yeah. Yeah, wait, let me catch up here. This is a chill stream. I didn't realize it was 2 a.m. here. It be like that, sorry. It be like that. Have a good day, pal. I love hearing about the content of other people. So this has been Mint. Appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate your follow. Shouts out to you, and C4 was chilling in chat. Also, Dealer86 was in chat today. So I appreciate you all stopping by and watching. And yeah, let me get the button ready. The button and stream. Oh, he lagged today. Oh god, he lagged today. He was maybe he was hungover. Maybe the button was hungover. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is JBase Phoenix once again, signing off.